Hello everyone, welcome to ASL Week 7 Team Analysis. This week we're up against our good friend Hunky Donkey, or the Garden State Arbolivas. And if I'll be honest, this matchup is interesting because he has a lot of threats that are kind of difficult for me to deal with. Like, he has a Terra Metagross, he has Iron Valiant, Garchomp is a fraud, so don't worry about that one. But he has a lot of powerful Pokemon that are kind of like scary to deal with, but I think we come up with a decent team. So here's, what we're running this week. Up first, we've got Twilight the Latios, the GOAT, Soldew this time around, Timid Nature, Luster Purge, Draco Meteor, Flipper, and Aura Sphere. So this set is just meant to do damage, like get Luster Purges off, get Dracos off, and Flipper out. Pretty switch-ins with Flipper. Ideally, this thing is great for Garchomp because I always outspeed it. I don't think Scarf is a real set, and if they bring Scale Shot, I have one of my future sets, we'll tell you when we get there, is meant specifically for that kind of scenario. But Latios here, again, just good damage dealer all around. Nothing really wants to take a Soldew Draco Meteor or a Soldew Luster Bridge. If you're wondering, this is not the old Soldew that gives you like a Calm Mind boost permanently. Soldew nowadays is just essentially if you fuse Dragon Fang, and I think it's like Spell Tag. Spell Tag is a Ghost type one. Whatever the Psychic type item is, it essentially gives both your Dragon and Psychic type moves a 1.2 times buff, but it only works for Latios and Latias. So yeah, that's our set for Twilight this week. Next up, we've got Bond. Silk Scarf this time around, with Rock Polish, Calm Mind, Terra Starstorm, Dark Pulse. So this set is literally just meant to be led and ideally get a kill, maybe two, and hopefully just chip things into range of everything else. Because I found in mocks that it was really difficult to get this thing set up. So I think, in my opinion, the best way I could have used it here is just lead it, get a Rock Polish off, ideally get a Calm Mind off, and then just start clicking Terra Starstorm. His resist is, his normal resist is Metagross. If Metagross ever hits the field, we're always going to click Terra Starstorm again, mainly because it is Terra Water, Flying, and I think Steel. I expect Steel because it was in mock, again, also very painful to deal with, but I could also see Water for like hitting Rotom and stuff. So whatever the case is, Terra Starstorm is always a play into Metagross because if he doesn't Terra, Dark Pulse will not kill it. And if we activate Weakness Policy, it becomes a real pain. So always is essentially gonna be clicking mono Terra Starstorm. Dark Pulse is just there for Bramble Gas because it's an immunity instead of just a resist. And yeah, that's our Bond set for this week. Next up, we've got your Forger or Sneasler. Our MVP so far, we've got Banded with U-Turn, Close Combat, Direct Claw, Switcheroo. This is the Sneasler set basically almost every week except like last week that I brought in Burden, mainly because it's just reliable. Like, it outspeeds most of his team. CC Direct Claw hits everything basically. Switcheroo's there for Rotom Wash or something like that, or Magmortar, I guess. Like, it's just meant to cripple things, and U-Turns there for pivoting, but most of the time we're just going to be clicking Close Combat or Direct Claw. Yeah, that's about it for this set. Next up, we've got Lord Desmond or Kingambit. Terra Fairy this time around with Lumberry, Sword Stance, Sucker Punch, Terra Blast, Scout Cleave. So this set is meant to set up on Rotom Wash. Like, I expect Rotom Wash to be his answer to Kingambit, that or Magmortar. In either case, both on a Will-O-Wisp Kingambit. So my plan is like Sword Stance, as either of the two switch in. I SD again as they Will-O-Wisp. I'm a +4, and I should be able to, start doing some damage after that. Overall, just a nice set. I think this could be a good game cleaner. I need to be really careful with Garchomp because, rough skin damage is really rough. So if he brings like a Rocky Helmet rough skin, I take like quarter of my health every time I click something that's not Terra Blast on it. I need to be careful with Flame Body. All these little factors I have to be super careful with. But I think this Gambit set worked, or it works for what it is. So yeah, that's what we got for Lord Desmond this week. Next up, we've got Damon Desmond or Rotom Heat. Heavy duty boots as always. Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, Overheat, and Discharge. So Will-O-Wisp is there for crippling Garchomp. Volt Switch for pivoting. Overheat is a mandatory move on this Pokemon, and Discharge is there for Magmortar. I found in Moxie it was really difficult to use this Pokemon because Magmortar could just essentially switch in for free, take the Will-O-Wisp, took nothing from Overheat, and then Volt Switch doesn't really do me any favors. So I thought it was super nice to have Discharge, because if I just fish for the paralysis, if I paralyze Magmortar, it's a lot easier to deal with. That's about it. Will-O-Wisp hopefully will help me take care of Garchomp. Garchomp will most likely have Stone Edge this match, because I have an Enamorus, and without Stone Edge, you literally cannot hit it, and there's no point in running like Poison Jab or Iron Head, because, you know, Rotom is also here. So you might as well knock 2 birds with 1 stone and run the rock move. This set lives, I think, 2 Stone Edges from full. Yeah, hopefully we're able to burn the Garchomp. It'll essentially cripple it for the rest of the game, and then he'll literally not be able to do anything with it. Other noteworthy is this is super nice for Valiant. You can get a paralysis off, burn it if it's physical. If it's special, we cry in a corner. I think that's about it for Rotom Heat this week. But yeah, and then last up we've got Swampert or Sylvia Sherwood. Leftovers this time around with Flipper, Knockoff, Earthquake, and Ice Punch. This is a very Fist-Def set with a bit of attack. Attack is there to 2-hit KO Tank Chomp with, or like do this. I think it was for Torn T actually, now that I think about it, yeah. Because I was like, I don't think Ice Punch should always 2-hit KO. I think it was for Torn, I think like Max CP Torn or something like that gets 2-hit KO'd by Ice Punch with this set. We've got a lot of defense to try to take on Garchomp if it gets boosted. I think we live a +2 Earthquake. I think Scale Shot too. We should always knock out with Ice Punch if it uses Scale Shot at any point. I expect Scale Shot because, you know, that's Garchomp's version of Dragon Dance. It's its only way to boost its speed. So it's kind of a mandatory thing if you want to try to sweep with it. So yeah, it's just here basically to tank hits, do a little bit of damage, pivot if needed, knock, you know, for boots and stuff, even though we don't have any hazards. Yeah, that's the Swampert set for this weekend. That concludes our team analysis for this week. Again, I think it's an interesting matchup. I think it's not really in our favor, but also not in our favor. It's pretty even, if I had to say. That's the best word I could find for it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the match, and I'll leave you guys to it. Hello again, and welcome to the post commentary for this week. So my capture card decided, you know what, I'm not gonna record this week. Instead, I'm gonna glitch. The audio's not gonna work. Everything's gonna look like pixely. The quality, no, terrible. Take it from me. Don't buy the $25 capture card from Amazon. Not a good investment. Anyway. So we're here on the match. I see that Hunky has brought Metagross, Rotom, Hitmonchan, Garchomp, Magmortar, and Tornadus T. So first thoughts to me were like, oh my god, there's no Iron Valiant here. But for leads, I didn't really complicate myself that much because, as I explained in the team analysis, I literally made my Terapagos set to just lead. So of course we just stick with Terapagos lead, and we wait for the match to start. So at first we are seeing Terapagos staring down a Rotom Wash. So this is not the lead I wanted. I was hoping for a lead like Hazard's lead Garchomp or something like that, but you know, this also works. So I expect Rotom to either go for Willow or Volt Switch here, so I just Rock Polish as he Volt Switches. And here he could go into... Honestly, he could go straight into Garchomp, he could go into Hitmonchan, he could go into Metagross. Right now, Terapagos is basically set up to where I want it to be. And we do in fact see Hitmonchan coming here. So I will admit it here, in the actual match, the reason I stayed in is because I already had in my calculus a +1. So I go for Terra Starstorm again, and it doesn't kill, and I was like, oh, well, I just lost Terrapagos. And he goes for a knockoff, luckily, because yes, the sensible play there was the switch, but I thought it always killed because I had the wrong thing in the calc. Anyway, he switches Hitmonchan out to preserve it, and he goes into Metagross, who easily tanks a Terra Starstorm without my Silk Scarf. After this, we do in fact see Metagross Terrastalize. I Terra Starstorm again here because I just kind of expected a Terra here, and if he Terra Steals, there's like Starstorm still does more than Dark Pulse. Water and flying, I do more damage with Starstorm, so there's no point in Dark Pulsing in my opinion. He does Terra Water, which means Starstorm does a lot of damage, while Terrapagos goes down to a Hammer Arm. Which also drops Metagross' speed, but I don't think that mattered that much. I end up sending out Sneasler here, because since he doesn't have Bramblegast, his CC switch-ins are very limited. So he does go, I think he goes Torn here? Hitmonchan, right. He sacrifices this, so Hitmonchan goes down already. Terrapagos proving to make a little bit of progress at least, leaving Metagross in half, you know. Hitmonchan being down already, thanks to the chip it got. So Sneasler putting in work here, got CC, killed CC. Torn comes back in to, or Torn comes in to revenge it. Sneasler switches out, of course. I bring out Rotom Heat as he goes for a U-turn, I believe, right? No, he goes for knock first. Yeah, he knocks off here. I lose my heavy duty boots, but no hazards are up, so it doesn't really matter. He goes for a U-turn as I expect the Garchomp switch in, trying to catch a Volt Switch or a Discharge, so I go for Will-O-Wisp. And Garchomp comes out, which is great for me. I go for Will-O-Wisp, and lucky for me, it connects. But surprise, surprise, Garchomp is Lumberry. So he gets burned, but the berry restores the burn. We do, after that, see Garchomp switch back into Tornadus. At this point, you might be wondering, why did I go for Will-O-Wisp again when I could have, you know, died to Stone Edge? The truth is, like I explained in this team analysis, I live at least one Stone Edge, so if I can get Garchomp burned, I can live up to 2. This also counts for, you know, Stone Edge missing. So anyway, Tornadus comes back in, U-turns out. I miss Will-O-Wisp on Torn, which doesn't end up mattering that much, but I predict him to go Magmortar now, expecting the Will-O-Wisp, and I get the call right as Discharge comes in and paralyzes the Magmortar. Magmortar here, I Volt Switch first, because I am faster because of the paralysis. I think I am naturally faster anyway. I switch into Latios here, and if I remember correctly, I think this was supposed to go for Acid Spray, but I got fully paralyzed, so Magmortar just stayed still. After that, we see Luster Purge come out, which does around over half of what Magmortar had left in HP, drops his SpDef, which just doesn't mean anything, and he goes for Acid Spray, which drops my SpDef by 2 stages, and I just go for Luster Purge again to take out the Magmortar. After this, I believe we see Torn come back out. Yep, it is Torn again. In here, we just see I switch out Latios. I think I go Rotom. Yeah, we do go Rotom, expecting a Bleak Wind. And as he goes for a U-turn. Yep. In here, if I remember correctly, he goes... What does he go into? He's going into Garchomp. Also, if you haven't noticed, I'm not doing a script for this one, because why not? He goes for Stone Edge and misses, which I'm like, yes! Let's go! And then I miss Will-O-Wisp, but I'm like, no! God damn it! He goes for another Stone Edge, misses again, I'm like, oh my god! Yes! And I go for a Will-O-Wisp, and it misses, and I say, no! The overall, and then he goes for Stone Edge, finally hits it, and I crit! I always lived that if it wasn't a crit, bro. Like, my luck, man. I'm telling you, this is... Anyway, I sent out Latios to revenge here, as he switches out into Metagross, I believe, to sacrifice. Right? Yeah, this is Metagross. And Metagross drops to a Draco Meteor, which puts the score, I believe, 3-4, right? I think so. Yeah, I think it's Rotom, Torn, and Garchomp versus Latios, Sneasler, Kingambit, and Swampert. So Tornadus comes back in here. I switch out because I don't want to take a knockoff or a U-turn, and I go Kingambit. So this may have been a little risky, but I knew he was never going to Focus Blast or Heat Wave in that position. So, you know, there wasn't any point. And he goes for knockoff. So at this point, I know his moveset is definitely Bleak Wind because you need to run that move. A U-turn, a knock. So I don't think he has Focus Blast or Heat Wave. I suspect the last one to be like Defog. So he switches into Rotom Wash as I go for an SD. I didn't Terra because I didn't see the point. I still resist Bleak Wind, which is good for me. Anyway. He goes for a Will-O-Wisp as I Sword Stance again to try to cancel out the burn. So I am a +4 but burn. So I think that technically counts as a +2 Kingambit. I have my attack doubled what it normally would be. And in this position, I just go for a Terra Blast, mainly because if he goes Garchomp, for example, I don't want to take like rough skin damage, and I don't want to take this and that, and I just Terra Blast hits more things than Kowtow, so I just felt I should go for Terra Blast, if that makes sense. I later learned that this thing was Rocky Helmet, so it ended up being beneficial for me to go for Terra Blast. We do see the Hydro Pump come out, does like over half of what I had left in HP, and Terra Blast also does over half. So in here, Sucker Punch kills. I decide, you know what, I'm gonna go for one. Doesn't work, unfortunately, as he goes for Pain Split, and I believe I get healed because of it. Yeah, I gain a little bit of HP back because he was Kingambit was at lower HP than Rotom. So he goes for Will-O-Wisp, but I decided this time that I would Terra Blast because I figured he was gonna keep clicking that until I died of burn residual. So I get the call right, you know, Terra Blast the Rotom, and Rotom goes down to set the score to 2-4 still, right? Yeah, I think so. I think Garchomp comes out here. Yep, we do see Garchomp come out. In here, in theory, I should have Sucker Punched, but I didn't want to allow this to get like an SD up, as Kingambit was dying to burn this residual. So I just figured, you know what, I'm going to Terra Blast. If he Sword Stances, it auto wins me the game. But he just goes for the EQ, of course, picks up the kill. Latios comes back in here to try to revenge, and I luckily do land the Draco Meteor, killing Garchomp, and it sets the score back to 3-1. So in this position, also, I would like to say that I thought I was that Metagross was still alive, so I thought Torn still had a way to regen its health back. I was wrong, but you know, I go Swampert here, who loses leftovers. I decide to go for a knockoff in case this was like Assault Vest or anything like that. It ended up just being like Boots, but you know, figured I would double check just in case. He goes for a Bleak Wind, and he goes for Bleak Wind again, which the second one does end up picking up the KO, setting the score at 2-1. I send out Latios here, and as long as I land Draco, this game is over. And he misses Bleak Wind, which wouldn't have mattered because I never died to it. And Draco does in fact connect, and that seals the game for us. That will be the end of it. Yeah. Intense match. That double miss was, I was laughing my ass off when that happened. Like, it was double miss and then into the crit as well. Like, that was the RNG fest of a lifetime. Super fun match. GG's to Hunky. I was super surprised to not see Iron Valiant, but I do kind of see like why you want to bring it, you know, with Sneasler being here, it kind of pressures it into bringing booster speed energy, and if I bring Unburden or anything like that, Iron Val can't do anything. So I super get it. It was cool to see Metagross and Magmortar were both Assault Vest, which made things a little bit trickier than they needed to be. but we were able to pull through. There was definitely some RNG for both of us, with him missing Bleak Wind, he missing Stone Edge twice, but me missing Will-O-Wisp twice, getting critical hit by the Stone Edge. Overall, just a funny match. And that will do for week 7. With this win, we have officially clinched playoffs, which is nice. We're at current 6-1 record. I believe I think we're number 2 in standings, only second to who we fought 2 weeks ago, who's also only had 1 loss, which happens to be us. We stay on top. Let's go. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys enjoyed the kind of rushed post commentary. We recorded this on Tuesday. This is due on Friday, so 2 days to edit. I didn't really have time to write a whole script or anything like that. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.